Welcome back to the West Ham Voice. I hope you all had a good week and looking forward to the weekend. Well, first it was Crysencio Summerville, then it was Fernandes, and now it's Dinos Mavropanos. Every time a player hits a bit of form at West Ham United, the journalists and so-called ITKs can't wait to tell us, that the informed players have decided they want to leave. If you're new to this channel, first time you're watching the channel, or if you've watched the channel before but yet to subscribe, a QR code is appearing in that top corner there. Please become a subscriber of the channel if you enjoy the content. Hit the like button that's below there. Hit the bell notification to tell you when my next show is on, and also hit the hype button as well, which allows you to automatically promote this particular video to other viewers. Anyway, I promised myself that at this stage of the season, it would be futile to talk about transfers, whether players were leaving or players coming into the club. But of course, that doesn't stop the stories flying out that we're in for this player and that player, and we're going to lose this player and that player, and God knows what else. But I guess I kind of had to react to the story that came out on Friday, and apparently it came out on X on Twitter. And according to journalist and ITK Florian Plettenberg, and I quote, Konstantinos Mavropanos is set to leave West Ham this summer as he's seeking a new challenge. The quote went on to say, the 28-year-old has delivered top performances consistently over the past few months, attracting interest from the Bundesliga and the Premier League, unquote. Oh no, finish with a quote. Borussia Dortmund have discussed him internally in recent weeks. Potential deal could be difficult as his price is expected to be very high. End of quote, by the way. Now, the main part of this is Plettenberg stating that Dinos wants to leave. I'm not suggesting for a minute that he hasn't been discussed at various clubs around Europe and in the Premier League, but the bit that gets me a little bit is apparently he's decided that Dinos wants to leave. Really, Florian? Is that what he or his representatives have told you? Or are you just speculating in the hope that perhaps some or part of all of this story could become true? Now, look, I'm not saying journalists don't get things right, but this one absolutely stinks of someone trying to unsettle a player who's finally found his feet at West Ham. And I dare say that if German clubs have been talking about him, he's putting it out there. He's getting the feelers out there in advance, isn't he? Isn't it? Look, it doesn't ring true. Because it just doesn't fit the player's profile. And it sounds to me like classic rumour mongering designed to poke the hornet's nest. Now, let's start with why it doesn't add up. Because Mavropanos is playing regularly. He's trusted and he's performing really well. He's not a bench warmer looking for a way out of the club. He's not a player who's fallen out with a manager in any way. And he's not someone who's ever been known for engineering moves, especially through media. So when a story pops up, he's saying that he wants a new challenge, you've got to ask yourself, who benefits from this? Agents, obviously, rival clubs, someone trying to unsettle a player before the summer transfer window is even open. I guess all of that. Because from where I'm sitting, this doesn't look like a footballer pushing for a move. It looks like someone, trying to create a narrative. So I had to pose the question to a senior source at the club, and the response was pretty simple. The player is happy with us. But the source did add that if we get relegated, then the whole team will want to leave. Well, we know that. It won't come as any surprise at all that if we do get relegated, we're going to have to sell some key players, if not all. So there you have it. From within the club, the player is happy at West Ham United. Let's rewind. Let's look at Dinos' career path, because it kind of tells you everything about his mentality, about his approach as a footballer. He was signed by Arsenal after, playing in Greece. He was signed by Arsenal in 2018, a big jump from playing football in Greece, but he struggled for minutes. In 2017-18, he only made, something like 3 Premier League appearances. In 2018-19, only 4. He was then loaned out to Stuttgart, where he rebuilt his reputation. And he became, in Germany, a physically dominant front foot defender, aggressive, aerially strong, and tactically more mature. We signed him in August 2023. and we've got him on contract until June 2028. He arrived as a player entering his prime, 41 international appearances for Greece. And this is not a player who jumps ship every 2 minutes. He's taken the hard road. He's rebuilt himself, especially after what we heard an awful lot. Apparently he failed at Arsenal. He was never going to make it. He's not the sort of player for the Premier League, etc. But he's proven to be just that. He's rebuilt his reputation and he's earned his place in this current West Ham team. Now, the numbers, the numbers show a player who's contributing, who's improving, absolutely a part of this team's core. Overall stats for West Ham is he's made 94 appearances with scoring 4 goals. This season, he's made 29 appearances in all competitions. He was captain for one of our FA Cup games. He scored 3 goals, 83% pass success rate, 101 duels won, 60 aerial duels won, 33 tackles, 38 interceptions, and 22 blocks. He's integral. This is a defender who's been made available. He's reliable. He's productive. He's not a fringe player. He's not unhappy. And I don't think, to be honest with you, he's looking for the exit door. Not just yet. And West Ham didn't buy Mavropanos on a whim. He fits the Premier League physicality. He's proven that, especially this season. He's strong in duels, he's strong in aerial battles, and he's entering his peak years. And I dare say we got him for 15 million. And at that time, you've got to look at it now and say he was undervalued. Thank you, Tim. You did do something right there. And since arriving at West Ham, he's shown exactly that, why the club made the move for him. But he's been through challenging times at West Ham. Last season, this time of the season, he was being booed every time he was announced to be coming on the pitch as a sub. Now, if there was ever a time that Dinos may have decided he wanted to leave and look for a new challenge, it would have been last summer when things just weren't going so well. But he stuck at it, and now fans are lauding him as a potential hammer of the year. What a difference a year makes, eh? So let's try and circle back to this new challenge nonsense. Does it match the player's behavior? No. Does it match his performances? No. Does it match his contract situation? Absolutely not. Does it feel like someone stirring the shit pot ahead of the summer? 100% yeah. If anything, this is a classic case of agent games, clubs fishing for availability, media trying to generate clicks, or someone trying to unsettle a key West Ham United player. So here's my take. Until Dinos himself says he wants out, and he hasn't, this story, to me, is nothing more than noise. He's playing well, he's settled, he's important to the team, and he's under a long-term contract. If anything, West Ham should be building around players like him, not worrying about phantom rumours. Look, that's it. It's my take on it. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other stories coming up about our key players. There will constantly be stories about Summerville, constantly stories about Fernandes. Now, because we've got the likes of Dinos playing well, stories there. I dare say there'll be a story about Disasi and how there'll be a queue of Premier League teams looking to sign him, take him off Chelsea's hands, and any other player that does well. It seems to be par for the course. It seems that every single time a player does well at West Ham, the rumour mongers are out there trying to unsettle the player, trying to suggest that the player wants to go, seeking a new challenge. Look, if he wants to go, and if he, and if that rumour is true, then I wish him well and thank him for the service that he's given to West Ham. He's turned out to be a really decent player, but these stories, they're kind of, I hate to say it, but they do in the end wind me up a little bit. And I wonder if they wind you up as much as they do me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you all again soon.